You look beautiful, Ben. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm taking very seriously my clothing style for this meeting. So yeah, I hope that I'm looking great. So yeah, how is your day going, my
I
friend?
just woke up. It's
Is
9
is
a.m.
Yeah, and you are in the day after, so it's Tuesday for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got my tickets for Barcelona.
Cool.
That's gonna be fun.
When are you starting your journey to be here? Like 3 days before or
It's
something like
the
that?
So I start on the 27th, and then I arrive in Barcelona on the 28th. So it's the 27th here at night, and then it's Barcelona, I think, like in the middle of the day or the early evening or something like that. It's like 24 hours of flight time and a 3 hour layover, I think. And then going back, it's 22 hours of flight time and a 5 hour layover. But I'll be going the other direction over the Earth. So it'll be the first time that I get to see like India and that side of the planet. I've never been over that side of the planet before, so that'll be really neat.
But it was intentional and or just that's happened. So did you choose the
I didn't,
the
no,
the
I didn't choose to go that way. That's just how it worked out.
Hello.
I think it's
this
Where are
shorter
you
one?
going, guys?
away by probably about 300 kilometers to go that way than to go the other way.
Yeah.
Howdy,
This
Juan.
one. Hey, Babuk.
How's it
Thanks
going?
for joining. All good.
Hello, hey there, Benjamin. It's my first time being here, so I'm kind of nervous. Hey,
Uh,
hi all, hi all.
is late for you, right? So what time is for you, Babuk? Is like 1 a.m. or something?
I usually am allowed at night, also that works. I'll be
Okay,
reacting on
so
the side, so
thanks for the effort for connecting to this meeting. So we hope it's going to worth it. So yeah, um, let's get started then because time is precious. So it's okay if we start and if we have more people joining. So they are totally invited, of course. Right? Let's start. I'm sharing my screen with the agenda for today. There is nothing in the issue, but we do have a comment by Babuk that is here regarding these two issues. So before going with those, let's start reviewing the meeting etiquette together. Of course, we still have time to add more issues. So if you have something in mind, just edit the issue or drop another comment. So first of all, we are going to record this meeting to share it with the community and also in our YouTube channel. So please, if you don't like to have this video uploaded to YouTube, just send me a message, a private one, and I'll take care of not uploading this one. Otherwise, this will be on YouTube tomorrow. We encourage everyone to challenge any language or behavior that is harmful or not inclusive or against our code of conduct. And we'll try to stay on mute when other people is speaking and use the Zoom reactions for us to return to speak. So before going with today's agenda, let's take a look to the action items of the last meeting. Yeah, we spoke about 4 issues. First of all, we had a good discussion regarding my proposal or creating a formal process for working groups. But the final agreement was instead of just start with the formal process, start with a trying this approach and taking some learnings before going straight with the process. And that's was the agreement. So the plan is to trial this proposal with a working group for the organization of the JSON Schema conference for the end of the year. So this is the plan. I didn't start yet, but I'm excited about testing that one. In addition, there was a discussion in another issue. Let me show it very quickly. It's related to this. It's in the website repository. 1 second. There is an issue to create a proposal of JSON schema landscape. The landscape is something that the Linux Foundation is using to visually show ecosystems, right? And suddenly we have three different people interested on this issue. So probably I'm going to suggest them to create a working group for this. So we have, in the end of the discussion, let me see, Daria and Alok interested in joining, and also Vivek. So I'm going to catch up with this discussion and see if they are open to try this working group approach as well. The scope is much smaller than the JSON Schema conference, but again, this can help us to see how this works. Yeah. Any comments so far regarding trying this for this project? Probably this project is like 12 weeks effort or something like that, with not too much dedication.
How does a landscape look like for the Linux Foundation? Can you show an example, just out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Thank you. Have it there.
This is the GraphQL one. You can choose different. You can choose different grouping criteria, right? For example, they are using tools, services, databases, adopters, and foundation members. So this is one way to show the complexity of GraphQL ecosystem. In our case, it will be amazing if we can show the tools, right? But most of the tools don't have a logo, so it's going to be challenging for that. This is why I was suggesting start small, like just putting adopters, sponsors, and see how that works. If we like the result, we can go and add more elements. Maybe we can add related ecosystems. So we can, as soon as we have something, the minimal viable landscape, we can continue the discussion with the TST and the community and see what more ideas we can get. So, but once we have this built, it's just data. So we can just edit a JSON in somewhere and everything is going to work. There are many. So here you can find like a lot. This is the Finus landscape, the Linux Foundation Energy landscape. Here they are Symfony ecosystem. I mean, each ecosystem is totally different. They have different interests in showing different things. This is huge. Verticals. Let's see, we have something more technical. This one. Okay, here. Network. Let's see this one. Networking. Okay, projects. Other Linux Foundation hosted networking projects, sister communities, and standard developing organizations. This is interesting, a totally different and interesting approach. So I think that for us, adopters and
Very
sponsors,
nice.
yeah, let's have something built and let's have a round of feedback with the community and the TST, and let's see what is the next step.
Could I be added to that discussion? I think I'm not part of the discussion. I'm just gonna comment if there's a group made.
Absolutely. Let me find the. Oh, yes, this is the issue. So I'm going to write it in the chat so you can just add a comment, and we'll love to get your support for this working group thing. And the more diverse the working group, the better. So we have Daria and Alok. Alok is great with the DevOps stuff. Aria is good with front end. If I assume that you are great at technical writing and probably much more things. So all of us, we can do like a solid group to have something great. Yeah. So yeah, thanks, Babuk.
You're adding a comment right now.
Cool. Thank you. Let's go back to the action items. So yeah, data spending. Ambassadors program, we created an issue for asking for vote to the TST, and I think that voting process is in progress. It's not here, is this one. Yeah, thumbs up here and thumbs up here. So I'll give it another push during the week. And if everything goes well, I will start engaging with the swag provider to produce some designs proposals, and I will start asking for feedback to the community. So this is going to be fun with some t-shirt and sticker designs, so we can just iterate it together. Next. We also discuss about start the discussion or start promoting with the community to have a second office hour session, but in the different time zones to make sure that it's friendly for US, LATAM, and Asia Pacific time zones, and with a focus in community updates. The current office hours is focused in use cases, Q&A, of course, and just hang up with everyone that shows up. But this other community session is going to be more focused in community updates, hopefully people doing presentations about updates in tooling or new products or just innovations with JSON Schema. Go ahead, Greg.
Why would we have it, why would we have the focus of the meeting different? It seems like the point of bringing up, the point of having office hours in different time zones is to allow people to attend similar meetings in their own time zone, rather than to have a different focus for, it's basically a different meeting if it's community updates. I think we should have a separate community update meeting for these things, and not call it office hours.
I like it. My feeling is that we need this community meeting to have different ways to encourage the people to get involved, because we have discussions that sometimes like take some time. We are increasing the activity with Google Summer of Code, Google Season of Docs, and this new effort to organize the conference. And my feeling is that we need it. But you are totally right. So why changing the scope? But we can add 2 new items, new meetings, sorry. So probably what we need is the existing meeting, instead of just run it all the time in European time zone, is just change it, right? So probably the first week, oh no, let me write it. I don't know how to do it. I don't like to, I don't want to add many meetings immediately, just
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
so
oh,
yeah,
we don't have
let
to
me think
figure it
about
out
that.
now.
Yeah, let me think about that. Maybe
Yeah.
we can make it rotatory or something, the existing one, right? Make the time zone change monthly or something like that, right?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, let's continue the discussion. I wanted to add a comment here, and yeah, that was a fair comment. We shouldn't change the topic or the goal of the meeting. So yeah, probably I will make a proposal to change every month or 2 months the time zone. Probably we will need someone to commit to lead the session in other time zones, and it's great to have more people involved. And probably we can do the same for community. So if we do this approach for having friendly time zones for the office hours, probably for community, we should be doing something similar. So yeah, let me think about that. And I will add a comment in the issue that we have an issue for that. And let's see if we together iterate that approach. So thank you. And that's it. So more action items. Babuk, go ahead.
Yeah, just wanted to add, I'm a +1 for the changing of the community hours timings monthly. So one time we adjust it to US Pacific time, once into Asia Pacific or EMEA time. So I'm a +1 for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100%. So Europa and EMEA together, and I don't know. Let's have the discussion in the issue. So we'll discuss together to see what are the best grouping criteria. Other communities are doing this, so probably we can learn about how others are doing the same solving the same problem. Okay, thanks for helping with reviewing the issues of the past week and the action items pending. And Babuk, those are your topics, so feel free just to explain what you need from us and what is the impediment, and we'll love to continue progressing the issues. And by the way, thank you for opening both. So yeah, thanks for that. Go ahead. It's your time.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, so I was actually looking at the getting started documentation for the JSON schema. And with just a beginner's perspective in mind, could we open the first link, please? A fixed documentation normally for UX change. Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. The numbering on the UI is not accurate or UX pleasing. Just out of the box, when a user enters the website, I think the font has to be like statically pleasing. So this issue is for tracking that. Yeah, I think you're able to capture, yeah, 111. Basically the numbering. So it's a pretty straightforward one. Also on the much more understanding aspect of this is the second issue, which is in the guiding for it. I think the numbering is correct in the README, but it's not reflecting correctly. That's what I observed in the code base.
I think you're
Maybe
muted, Benja.
Yeah, Babuk, maybe it's better if you share the screen and you can just, because I'm moving too fast and maybe not following what you are trying to explain. So feel free to share the screen.
Sure. I think you might need to stop. Yeah, thank you. So let me know if my screen is visible.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, thank you. So this is the first issue for the agenda. I think the issue was pretty clear. So if you go at the getting started page and just browse through, we can see that these numberings are just not in line. They should be 1, 2, 3. And if you go over to the edit on GitHub page for this, the README is accurately configured, which I observed, which is 1, 2, 3. If you see the raw format for this, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, but it's not properly rendering correctly, perhaps. I have to look into it, but it's an issue. So I just decided to raise it. So that's one. The second one is just I found while I was browsing through it. It's a little bit more deep and more user understanding in the scopes. Let's take this example, product ID. So for the required attributes here, let me find that. Yeah. So in the documentation, we clearly say that these properties for product ID and product name and price are required fields. But we start saying this required fields pretty early on. As a coder or as a user, you would like to see these required fields to be changing dynamically. So what I mean by that is, if I have a sample JSON over here, so if you're saying product ID is a required field, so the documentation should go something like this. Add the JSON for the product ID and defined as a typecast of a string and required of product ID. And if you want to add like any new attribute, for example, so this JSON might be not accurate, but I think this will help to get the idea across. For example, social name, and this could be a string. And this is also required. So we just add it to the required. So the documentation should flow in a more smoother way. Not adding required all at once, like it's over here. It just gets randomly thrown at the user, like required. These are all required now. If we progressively build up the user, that you just change that variable to reflect a required attribute, I think that just makes much more sense. But that just my 2 cents on how a user operates. So those are just the two issues that I raised today. Would love to get your views on
And
it.
maybe even to
Do we move on?
complement on that, like, is there any way, I don't know, Babuk or Benja, for example, when you are rendering this on the website, to highlight a specific line? Because I think, what the problem is that, if you like throw in a schema all at once that was supposed to be different from one that you've shown before, if you don't add any visual, indication that something has changed, you might miss what exactly has changed. But I think in many of these site generators, you can highlight a line, so maybe they can be highlighted the ones that change or something like that, make it more visual.
That's actually a good change. Yeah, that's actually currently a problem where we don't highlight what's changed. So just user gets thrown like this is the change, and you just figure out what's different from the previous one. So I think this is a good change. I think we can add that as well. Probably like a red marks on the markdown that this is the new field from the previous change that you just did.
Yeah, or something like that, right? And so in the book, for example, I was doing something like this, but before, because they were like a lot more constrained, I was bolding the stuff that was changed in the book in between the code snippets. Probably Greg remembers that from reading some of those chapters. But I think any sort of that kind of visual indication probably would be nice.
Yeah, something like a git diff perhaps that we see over here. So for example, this, this was the old one, this is the new one. Like something like git diff that we have on documentation. Yeah, that was all. When Gandos, I think I'm done for my screen share. Do let me know like if these issues are like valid and I can just start making a PR for the same.
Let's, I mean, we are not going to reply directly here, so let's check the final content of the issues, because I asked you to split it in two, one for the rendering problem or the number of the list, because I do remember fixing that in the past, and it's a problem with the styling the code that we have to style the markdown. So this is one thing. And the other thing is all the proposals that you might have for fixing the formatting or the code snippets. And that discussion probably can take longer. So let's take a look after the meeting. And yeah, But of course, the discussion is totally valid, and we appreciate that you started it.
Sure. Thank you so much.
I have an idea about the code blocks that I've put in there as a possible cause of why the numbering is not working. It might not be the case, but it's an idea. I've put it in that issue.
Cool. I'm going to try to remember how I fixed that in other page, because that happened to me, and it's a stupid thing that I didn't fix it. I just changed something in the code and started to work. So probably we will need to find a long-term fix for that. So yeah, cool. Okay, and we have another issue, Babuk, right? Is the glossary. We have a big issue with multiple glossary terms, and some of those are already published, but others not. And you had some doubts regarding the current status, right?
Correct. Let me do a screen share again. Yeah, so the third item that I had over here was JSON Schema Crawler glossary page. It has been open for a while, and it has like lots of subtasks under it which are completed and some are still pending. I just wanted to know like what the current status of this issue is, and if these items are still under consideration or required for that matter, which should be the priority of can maybe contribute in probably JSON pointer or validation pages. So just wanted to like view what's the current status for this issue, and what should be the like most top priority item that we could pick right now.
I would just say I would just gonna say continue the list.
Yeah,
So
take one.
BS3
Yeah.
continuation.
Just take the next one and go for it.
Sure. So this issue is still open. That means
Yeah.
these items are still open. Okay.
Yeah, it's open, and we have been adding item by item with different issues and pull requests, right? As you can see in the other items.
Yeah.
The last one, the last we added was JSON hyper schema. That was the last entry. So just go ahead. But when I saw today the issue, I had some doubts, because we have a validation and an annotation two times, but with different. So we have annotation and validation here, and we have again annotation and validation, but with keyword together. So is this a duplicate, Greg or Juan? What do you think? I have some doubts.
Yeah. So keywords can actually have three different behaviors, which I think is what the parenthesized keyword one is trying to get to. It can be an annotation, it can be an assertion or an applicator. I think the validation one is actually validation and assertion are the same thing, so that's duplicate. I'll change that real quick and make that. I'm gonna make validation applicator. So the difference between the annotation without keyword parenthesized and the annotation with keyword parenthesized is the annotation without keyword parenthesized is what is an annotation, like in terms of output. Annotation with keyword and parenthesized is what is an annotation keyword. That's how I read this anyway.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
just on a similar line of thought, so I do see that they are like listed at different pages because they serve different behaviors. I think that was the original intention for having these separated out from this one. Do we have a line of thought on why not a single page for annotation and its different behaviors? I'm sure there must be one, because there are listed like differently over here. Like,
I
do we
mean,
have
there
a
is
line of
some
thought on
overlap,
that?
right? Like an annotation keyword would emit an annotation, but then, an annotation keyword is not an annotation, right? So I think it does depend on how granular we want to be on the glossary, because if we want to be able to link to very specific things, that there is some relationship between them, but they are not quite the same. Also, by the way, just skimming through this, I think there is another issue. In some of the bottom ones, it says in place application and child application instead of applicator. That sounds like a
Yeah.
typo.
Yeah, I'll fix that. And that can actually, I'm going to move those up and indent them under applicator. There are two different kinds of applicators.
In place and child, no?
Yeah. So an in-place applicator looks at the same schema instant or same instance location, whereas a child applicator looks at a child instance location. So like properties would be a child applicator because it defines subschemas that look at children of the current instance location. Whereas all of is an in-place applicator because it looks at the same instance location.
Okay,
We should
that's
write
why
about
this
this
is
taxonomy of keywords, by the way, somewhere else. I mean, maybe the glossary is not the right place for expanding into a lot of those. I mean, you can explain what they mean, but I think even having a
Yeah.
page where you can see which ones are the child applicators, in 2012.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. And connected with what you said, Juan, one of the projects of Google Season of Docs is thinking about how to evolve from understanding JSON schema, because understanding JSON schema has been great for long. It was the only documentation we had, but it was written like a book, right? You need to to follow kind of step by step, and actually it missing exactly what you said. So exactly explaining what are the keywords and the connections. So there is a gap between how is the specification structure and how to use it, as is explained in understanding JSON schema. And one of the things that I love the technical writer that work on that in the future is like create a point in the middle. So something between understand JSON schema and learn JSON schema, what you did for your page. So for me, the ideal approach for documentation is the mix of both. So I don't know what are your thoughts about that?
yeah, that sounds amazing. We should talk more about that.
Yeah, can we get your brain as soon as the person start working on that?
Please do reach out.
And
Can I be added to the call as well if possible?
I mean, we'll start discussing about that as soon as the technical writing work starts. And still, I will have like 30 interviews in the next 3 weeks. So let's see how that goes. And we will need more
Yeah.
people
But I
from the
mean,
TST.
glossary is also, I think it's another facet, right? Is that you're saying a hybrid between both, but I think a glossary is even, something that ties them both together. I think, with the glossary, we should be a lot more religious on linking to the glossary pages everywhere. And I was kind of trying to do that on Learn JSON Schema, right? I put like an information bubble alongside words that mean something. But I think, it's the glossary is good as well. Very important.
If we are going to rewrite a lot of docs, maybe we should start with the glossary, make it ready and clean. So if we rewrite docs, we do it the right way since the beginning. Yeah. Exciting stuff to come with all the work of changing our docs. Okay, so what is the best item of the glossary to start working on? So any proposal for Babuk if Babuk is going to start with something? Greg, do you have something in mind? If you can decide, Anchor maybe, why not?
I mean, all of them are
Yeah,
important. I would suggest you just go one by one, and if you have any questions, sort of just reach out to us, and we're happy to help, explaining things. But I don't think, I mean, any of them is, more important than any of the other one, right? I think they're all valid ideas in,
I,
in JSON Schema.
I'll take that thought. I'll probably just pick annotation for the time being, and my stuff on validation will be useful maybe sometime later. But yeah, I think it makes sense to go line by line, um, if that's the importance criteria that we're deciding.
Something that I can do from my side is create an issue for each of the terms. We have new people in the community with technical writing expertise, so maybe it's an opportunity for having more people starting with it. Of course, we will need to reply a lot of questions, but this is a good problem to have. So are you okay, Greg, Juan, everyone, if I just create an issue for each of the terms and let's see if we have people interested, highlighting that those are not ready for start with the pull request. So I will create them
I don't think
in.
that we need separate issues for each of these. We just separate PRs would be fine.
Okay.
Just use this as an anchor point issue, and we can discuss them in the issue or in Slack if people have questions. I know I posted that thing in contribute today, but this is the issue where we can discuss these things. We don't need to break it out further.
Works for me. Babuk just had a comment saying what is the um, the element that you are going to start working on, and I'll suggest others with interest do the same. Like, hey, I'm working with this. That's it.
Yeah. I would suggest, I would like to suggest that you attempt to define it yourself, come up with a definition of what you think it is first, and then we can guide you from there.
Sure, sure. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have a draft of what my action plan would be here, for handling annotation for the time being, and I'll send it for a review if that looks good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's all I had from my agendas at least. Thanks for the inputs, everyone.
Thanks to you for bringing these great topics to speak about them today. So it was great discussion. Thanks a lot.
How many people,
Let
by the
me,
way, Benja, are taking a look at the glossary right now? Do you have some analytics?
yeah, let me check.
I'm wondering how many people are already referring to that.
1 second. I need to spend some time with the plausible metrics because we already upgraded our account to be able to build something called funnel, so we can track exactly what are the not only the visits to the page but also specific terms that they are looking. So 1 second. I'm going to share my screen.
By the way, something cool that you can do with Plausible that might make sense, but I've seen some open source projects do it. You can actually make the dashboard public, and then everybody in the world can actually see the analytics in read-only view. Or JSON Schema as a project. It could serve as a nice, spinning wheel for how popular JSON Schema is.
Absolutely. If you have real life examples of other projects sharing the dashboards, if you don't mind, send it to me.
I don't recall right now, but I've seen some.
Okay,
Maybe you can just Google them.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I'll find the best way. I'll try to think about the best way to share it. But yeah, you are right. You can create public dashboards for everything that you have. Okay, this is the page. In the last 30 days, 1,020K unique visitors. That is like a good number, right?
Nice.
What else we can see here? And from the people that is accessing the website, unique conversions is people that visit and clicked in one of the items. So, and this is the geographic distribution. Spain probably will be me. Yeah, that's it.
And
Go
100% of
ahead.
the visitors are confirming from a single blog post. Like, what can we add like more on what that blog post is about?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
It seems like that most of the users are coming from a single blog post, like the 100% of the users,
True.
the incoming source traffic. I think that's your blog post one, if that's correct.
No, I think that if you scroll up, Benja, yeah, over there on top sources. But I think it
Yeah,
detected only one top source that did
correct.
one conversion only.
Where is top sources? I can find it.
Top sources, there is a square at the bottom, at the left of top pages. Down, a bit down. Yeah, there.
Yeah, a blog post, open API for everybody.
No, but
You know, so like
those are. This is just one single conversion. This is someone that used
reference this
a
page, yeah.
UTM. So forget about this. This is not showing, in this case, it's not showing any relevant information for us. It's just, I don't know why someone that entered into this page using this UTM. Honestly, I don't know. Probably is a blog post that someone created. I don't know. But it's just one single
You can also, I
conversion.
mean, the other thing that you can do, because to optimize the glossary, you can integrate Plausible with Google. So you get the searches, the Google searches that are leading into pages on the glossary. That would be an interesting way to also measure how are we doing with SEO
With
on the
Google,
glossary.
with Google Analytics,
With
you
Google
mean?
Search. No. So you can integrate with Google Search, and when you authenticate as the owner of the site, then Google will tell you what are the phrases that people have Googled, put in the Google search that ended up showing your page, and then they ended up clicking on that page. So you can see what are the search prompts that they are writing that gets them there. That's an interesting way to also try to optimize a bit more of the SEO, because I think the glossary page by its nature is going to be one of the pages that we ideally want as a landing point for a lot of people searching, for example, I don't know, in place applicator on Google, right? We should be ranking very high on that. And at least you can measure that.
Interesting. We are going to focus in the getting started page as in addition to the two projects that we have for enhancing the reference documentation and the specification documentation. I was thinking in improving what we have in getting started, the same page that Babook was making proposals. And the glossary, as you said, was not in my radar. But yeah, a lot of ideas to capitalize what we have there. So, yeah. And also we are going to work in the tooling page for Google Season of Docs, and we are going to capture a bunch of data regarding the preference of the people searching for tools. So we are going to build dashboards for capture what the people is searching, what is the top tool that the people is clicking. So yeah, we will be playing a lot with data, and you are an expert on that. So a lot of exciting discussions to happen in the upcoming months. Cool. That's all for today, right? Let me see if we have any other comment. No, we don't have more. So thanks for all the insights and the great discussion. And let's continue the discussion. Babook, if you don't forget to add your comment to the landscape discussion. Let's see how we do with the working groups approach for that project. Thanks, everyone.
Sure, Benjamin. Already added that comment. Do let me know if the group is created.
Sure. Will do. I have to say that I'm extremely busy right now with Google Season of Dogs, Google Summer of Code, and all my commitments. So probably I'm having some delay with some stuff, but yeah, this is a great problem to have. Too much people engaging with the community, so this is
Was an
exciting.
update, by the way, Benja, quickly maybe as a last thing before we drop off on Google Summer of Code. Where are we with that?
We need to decide the selected contributors to next Tuesday. So I book a meeting for the mentors to speak on Wednesday. On Wednesday, let me check. If I choose Wednesday, we will have a small problem with the agenda. Let me check. Basically, we need to align in what are our selection for each project and align in the ranking of the projects, because this local location works by preference, right? So, okay, we have a 10. I'm going probably to suggest changing this to the Thursday. So let's see if we can do it, because I can't have this meeting. So this is the meeting for us to take the decisions, and this local location is going to happen in 2 weeks, April 23rd or 34th. And that's it. We receive 70 more or less applications. That is an amazing number for us. And what we don't know is how many slots we are going to get. Hopefully, we will be able to have a contributor for each project, but we are not sure about that. This is why this meeting to discuss the rankings is going to be very, very important, to make sure that we are not losing opportunities from key projects. And we will need to allocate in 2 organizations. We need to allocate in JSON Schema and Postman, both. So I'll have a meeting with the community manager of Async API to decide how we divide this how we prioritize projects in Postman, because we are setting that space. For Google System of Docs, we are in the process of receiving applications. I'm not going to promote it because we already have an amazing response. So we, as of now, 30 applications, and my commitment is interview with all of them. So I'm not discarding anybody. So I will love to get everyone the opportunity to speak and know more about the project and explain why they are the best candidates. So yeah, this is going to be fun for the next couple of weeks to me. What I'm going to do is pick 3 names and have a discussion with the TST and take the decision with all of you guys. It's not going to be a public meeting, so we will see how we do it in a different space. But yeah, I'm excited. Actually, I have 2 interviews and the level is great. So exciting times for us. And that's it, the update.
Awesome.
Okay, take care, everyone. Thanks for your time, and let's continue
All the
discussing.
best.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Go to sleep, guys. Bye.